Hey everybody, and welcome to another Mod Spotlight brought to you by the Minecrafters. I am Captain Jack, and in this Mod Spotlight we are going to be talking about Greg's SGcraft, otherwise known as the Stargate mod. Alright, now Greg's SGcraft, or Greg's Stargate Craft, otherwise known as maybe the Stargate mod, is not in most popular mod packs, but we have chosen to add it into our own private server mod pack at the Minecrafters.com, and we're going to go over it really quick. It adds some really neat feature, or just basically one really neat feature, and that is the Stargate. And let's take a look at what it takes to build the Stargate and what this mod adds into your game. This is either pronounced Naquada or Naquita. I'm just going to go with Naquada. I'm sorry if I offend anybody or any Stargate fans out there. It will add this into the game, and it spawned randomly. Popularly found under lava, I think. It's a little bit more, or there's a higher chance to find under lava anyway. The Naquada alloy block, which is not currently used for anything, it's made by crafting putting 4 Naquada alloy ingots inside a shapeless crafting grid. This is the ore that you will get from that over there, and that's going to be used as fuel for your Stargate. Here we have the Stargate Controller crystal and the Stargate core crystal. Now in future versions of this mod, some of these may not be so easily crafted, but let's take a look at the recipes for them, because this and the rest of these things here can be crafted as well as found in the world, okay? You can craft it just like this, and this can be changed in the configuration file if you want to disable this, as well as the 2 crystals here. You can go ahead and disable those if you so choose. Naquada next to an iron ingot will give you the Naquada alloy ingot. The Stargate Controller crystal is made by placing a diamond alongside some orange dye and some redstone. And finally, the Stargate core crystal is made by using some lapis, redstone, and one more diamond, and that will give you the Stargate core crystal. Now, there is a possibility that you might find a whole fully built Stargate in your world somewhere. I'll leave it to you to figure out where you can find one of those things. It will be a really great find if you do. You can also find these crystal cores and basically almost every single block besides these ores inside loot bags. So if you have a mob spawner, you'll notice that some of these things will start appearing inside of your spoils bags. So you can actually get a whole Stargate without even really doing anything but opening up loot bags. Here we have some more blocks, and these are going to be used to create the main part of the Stargate as a whole. They are the Stargate Chevron block, the Stargate base, the Stargate Ring block, and the Stargate Controller. Inside here we have a bunch of different recipes to make the Stargate Controller. You're going to need some buttons, an ender pearl, that Stargate Controller crystal, and some obsidian. That'll give you the controller. To make the base, you'll need that other crystal, the Stargate core, some smooth sandstone, and some chiseled sandstone, alongside some Naquada, redstone, and an Eye of Ender. Next, you'll need some Chevron blocks, and that will be made again by some chiseled sandstone, smooth sandstone, an ender pearl, Naquada, glowstone, and redstone. And finally, this is the most simple block to make by just using some Naquada, chiseled sandstone, and smooth sandstone in a grid just like this. Now, how many of these blocks are you going to need? Well, I've laid it out here, and it's very difficult to not complete the ring. So there you have it, right there, and also here. Once you build the final block, or once you add the final block, and I'll add the Stargate base here, it's going to form the Stargate Ring. And it's a really cool block. It's a circle, unlike most things in Minecraft, so it kind of goes against the grain in that respect. And then you're going to have to put your controller, which I've chosen to put underground, but you can put up here, whatever you want to do. Makes it a little bit easier here. But the controller has to be at least 5 blocks away. If it's any farther, it will not be in contact with the Stargate. Okay? So there we go. We have a screen here. This is the farthest I can place. Right here is the farthest I can. Oh, I just have 2 Stargates. You can't do them like that. Anyways, once you have this ring, you can right-click inside of it, and you'll have some neat little symbols up here, and these symbols correspond to the letters down below. So SGNV MBA. Correspond to these little symbols here, and you have a spot for fuel here. And the fuel that you're going to want to use is the Naquada, so you can put a few of them in there, and that will allow your Stargate to start up. If you have no fuel in there, it will say insufficient fuel, and it will not open for you. Now, what else can you do in here? Well, basically every Stargate that you make has its address, and we can see the address right here, SGNVMBA. This is this Stargate's address, and we'll need to hook it up to a Stargate somewhere else in the world. Now, if you put Stargates too close together, like these are fairly close together, when you go ahead and dial in with that controller, it probably will open up this one too. So be careful how close together that you put these things. You can click these buttons down here, and the symbols that they correspond to will appear up here, as well as the letters, and that will allow you to type in Stargates like this. Okay, it says no Stargate address at CYXVVFE. Okay, so it just tried to dial some random thing. I don't have a Stargate address. Whoops, I'm breaking stuff all over the place. Or you can go ahead and type it in like that. Okay, there should be a captain address. But that's your Stargate. That's how you power it up using this fuel. And there are various ways to start this Stargate. People have created neat little codes with Computercraft and all sorts of other things that you can remotely start these things with. If you want to maybe get a little bit of code on that, you can check us out on Facebook, give us a ring there, and find out how to do something pretty cool like that. All right, so we have our Stargate here. If we right-click on it, we can see our Stargate address. We can see that the Claddagh has filled up a little bit inside of here, and we have our controller placed right here. So let's say we want to go to the Applied Energistics changelog and Quantum Field Ring tutorial. So it's YQHWMBA. YQHWMBA. We're going to go ahead and press this button here in the center, and that's going to create a really cool sound and graphic as this thing loads up and it charges up the Stargate to get ready for intergalactic travel. Watch how it's going to shoot out here, just like that. You do not want to be anywhere closer than 5 blocks to this thing when it starts up, otherwise it will kill you. I don't think it will matter what kind of armor you're wearing. It will cut through it and you will die, so be very careful when you do that. Now once you open this up, it's going to use a little bit of fuel, and I believe it only uses fuel at the startup, and the gates will remain open for however long you decide to let them stay open in your configuration files. I think the default is 5 minutes, but you can change it to whatever you want. So that's something good to remember. All right, so once we have our Stargate, it's open here. We can pass through it, and we can go to the Applied Energistics tutorial, and that's right over here. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Okay. And here we have another Stargate loaded up with some fuel, and we have another Stargate address, and that's the address that we typed in on the other end. And you can go back and forth between these. You can close it by pressing that button there, and it will make a really scary noise, and it will close up, and you can keep it shut so no sneaky people come through your tutorial. Let's see, IRHWMBA. You can see how these are very similar. Oh, it's busy. We can't go there. That's because it's already in use. And it's already in use because I have another Stargate sitting out here. And if you don't know what's coming next, I hope the ground gives it away. You do not want to break these Stargates while they're active. Otherwise, something very bad is going to happen. Okay, holy crap. Let me change it so I don't die. There we go. Be very careful if you go ahead and break one of these accidentally. You want to make sure you have a material that's strong enough to hold against an explosion, because that will happen. All right. So I don't think there's really too much more about this mod. There's going to be a lot of updates in the future, I'm sure. But that's just a basic overview of what this thing does. Very cool mod. Very easy to use. Very simple. Very straightforward. I'm not sure how closely in keeping it actually is with the Stargate series, but I hope it doesn't offend anybody out there that it might not be very close, because that's kind of what I get the idea of. Okay, so there we go, little mod spotlight on Greg's SGcraft. I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Make sure you check us out on our social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Twitch TV on Thursdays, usually at 7 p.m. And as always, guys, stay poised.